So, hey, dear listeners, welcome back to another powerful episode of Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I'm your host, Avik, and today's guest, please welcome Graham Kuhn. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. So, dear listeners, before we delve deep into the discussion today, I'll quickly love to introduce you with Graham. So, Graham knows this exactly why, and why. He's the founder of Focus Films and a nationally sought after strategic video storytelling expert who's helped service based companies double the conversations, slash sales cycle times, and build brands that actually feel human. Yeah. So, from helping a roofing company triple referrals to helping law firms attract better fit clients, Graham doesn't just make the videos, he crafts emotional assets that build trust. And trust is where today's conversation begins. Yes, not just between the brand and the audience, but between you and yourself. Because whether you are in behind the camera or maybe in front of it, there's only one thing every entrepreneur eventually faces, which is imposter syndrome. Yeah. So let's talk about the storytelling and authenticity and what it really takes to show up on camera and in life without faking it. So, welcome to the show again.
Oh, thanks, man. That's an awesome introduction.
Thank you, thank you. So, wow, I loved the story behind the Focus Films. Um, about blends blue collar grit music and sales psychology and not exactly the traditional path to video strategy. So I mean, how did that kind of I'd say electric mix shape the way that you approach storytelling today? I mean, if you can share.
Yeah. So the way like the blue collar upbringing is, I'm from a small farm town in Wisconsin. So I just grew up around people that worked hard and worked on farms and construction people and all of that. But my father was a wrestling coach. And so I grew up wrestling, being heavily involved in that. And so I grew up with that kind of a mindset of just hard work and being around your true salt of the earth, blue collar kind of people, hardworking. But then in middle school, I got into music. I liked playing in the band and singing in the choir, and I got into musical theater and all that. Um, and so that was kind of a strange dichotomy. Um, and my father being a wrestling coach, when I was in 5th or 6th grade, he said he needed somebody to run the video camera for his varsity wrestling team and asked if I would do it, and I did it, and I really enjoyed it. I loved filming and I loved editing, and so I took that into college. When I was wrestling in college, my college coach asked me if I could make a highlight video, and then I moved to Atlanta for a singing job because I had majored in opera in college. I moved to Atlanta for a singing job, and I started doing videos at my church. And through that, people from the church needed videos for their business, and it just became a full-time job for me. So growing up, hard work, in construction people, farmers, but then also the emotional side of understanding how to tell a story when I'm singing in a different language, or not being afraid to be vulnerable and show myself and not have this mask on. And so I take all of that into the storytelling of, I understand how to work with luxury home builders and the construction side of that, but at the same time, I get them to open up and tell their story and be vulnerable. And because it's not all about the features and the benefits, it's about the true story of the person behind the brand. And so I've just developed a real knack for that.
Exactly, exactly. So, I mean, was there a turning point when you realized that the video wasn't just about the production quality, but it's all about the human connection?
Yep, I can tell you exactly when it was. It's when I was working at the church, and a gentleman came in from one of the ministries. We were doing a promotional video, for them to do a video to get other men to join that ministry. And he came in with his talking points and his script that he wanted to say. And he looked into the camera and he said all the great things about the ministry, but it was very robotic. It was very like Please come and join us. Our initiatives for this year are A, B, and C, and we would love for you to join us every Tuesday at 7 p. It was just boring.
Flat.
And I yeah, I kept the camera running. I don't know why I did this, but I just kept the camera running, and I was off to the side of the camera, and I just started asking him questions because I kind of knew his story. He'd been around for a long time. So I asked, "Why have you been in this ministry so long?" And he flipped into this authentic, real person just having a conversation with me about how it's enriched his life and how it's changed his life and all the people that they help and reaching out in the community. And that was the moment I realized not having a script is the
Yeah.
way that it really resonates with people and makes you human. So that was the moment right there.
Exactly. I totally agree with you because like that is the essence of maybe the video or the audio, whatever the interview is happening. Uh those script based questions with the placards and all, it's all kind of boring, and it's all feels like it's all set up from the beginning. And uh and people will obviously take it as a kind of they will the perception will be kind of key, okay, these are all story, which was created and we are just seeing that way. But if we keep on doing the conversations, I mean, conversations cannot I mean be in one place. It will definitely travel from one point to another point, and it will get into a lot of things. I mean, which is that is something people will definitely love. So I totally agree with you. I totally agree.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, nowadays people, it feels salesy. If somebody's looking into the camera and they're doing a scripted, it doesn't feel real. It feels scripted, and it feels like they're trying to sell you. Whereas if they're telling a story and they're authentic and real, that's what stands out, especially with all the AI and all of the content that people can create now. When it's a real human, authentic moment, people resonate with that. It doesn't feel salesy and it builds instant trust.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree. I mean, it's very true because people don't buy those kind of I'd say the polished materials and all, but they actually buy that presence, that moment, that um essence will which will definitely come by nature. I mean,
Yep.
when we talk, it will by nature it will come. So yes, true. And uh, also like you have worked with the big brands and the entrepreneurs alike. So um, but I'm sure like even you also must have faced that little voice that says that who am I to be doing this? So how do you personally manage those syndromes?
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely struggled with imposter syndrome, which I think a lot of people do, especially because I never dreamed of being a business owner. I never planned to be an entrepreneur. So I had no plan in place. I had no goals to do this. So when I kind of backed into it because
Mm.
my side business as my video business got too big and I had to quit my job, I felt completely unequipped. I felt like people would see right through me. I didn't know what I was doing. I had these self-beliefs, these limiting self-beliefs that I was this one thing. I was the video guy at church, and now I'm gonna try to act like I'm some business owner. So, the first time that I really started to get over it was when I had a large client, the chief marketing officer and I were talking. And I mean, this is a big company and I'm from a small town. And so I'm talking to this chief marketing officer of this huge company and I'm feeling very insecure. Like I don't know what I'm doing. But I gave him an idea for a certain type of video that he could use for all of his franchises. And he looked at me and he said, "That is a genius." And he was like, "That's exactly what we need. That's incredible." And that was a huge moment for me to realize I really do have value. I can help these people. Now, obviously, not everybody's going to have that moment where somebody gives them praise and it fixes everything. But mentally, just understanding that one, I'm coming from a place of helping. I want to help my clients. I believe in what I do. Therefore, it would be selfish of me not to share it with them because I truly believe it can help them. That helps me get over that imposter syndrome, but also knowing that I know more about this than any one of my clients. This is what I do. So regardless if they're the CEO of a $50 million company, they don't know what I know about video and storytelling. And so there's inherent value there. And just reminding myself that I know more than what they do. I have value. I can help them and I want to help them. And what I do helps them. That is huge. And then just the work helps you overcome the imposter syndrome. The more you do it, just the more you get over the imposter syndrome, the more wins you have. I worry about, "Oh my gosh, what if they give me a bad review? Or what if I don't deliver? Or what if this" it's never happened. Literally, it's never happened. And so, the more you do it and you have the wins and you have the positive results, the more confident you get with, I am good enough."
Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree. And and yes, definitely, I'd say that I really love that, because the permission to be imperfect, because perfection definitely kills the connection.
Yes.
And um, as I was also mentioning about, like, the audiences crave truth over those polished kind of things. So very true. Yep. And so, like, um you have also this killer strategy that shoot for 2 hours and turn it into a kind of year's worth of content. I really love that, actually. So that's every entrepreneurs are dreaming of. So if you can break down, like, how actually it works.
Yeah. Um, so one of my main offerings is called a brand story video, which is the person behind the brand. It's interviewing them, getting to know why they do this, what makes them different. It's the big differentiator. Like a quote I always love to use from Naval Ravikant is escape competition through authenticity. Like nobody can compete with you being you. If you're real, it doesn't matter if you have competitors in your industry and you all do the same thing. When you are being yourself and you're being authentic, no one can compete with that. And so when we're doing a brand story video, I'm interviewing my client for probably an hour to 2 hours. Um, why do you do this? Like, what drives you? What do you love? What are you passionate about? It's not about the features and the benefits of their company. It's about how they serve their clients, how they benefit their clients. So we can do, and yes, in these kinds of things, when we come in with the intent of developing a year's worth of content, there will be times where we'll also do maybe some teleprompter stuff or maybe some little skits or something, but the majority of it is a long conversation that's authentic. And we're going to take the best 2 minutes of that and make a brand story video. And then there's also an hour worth of footage that you haven't used for that. So you can clip that into a sentence here or there that really would resonate with somebody. And you can make that into ads. You can make it into reels. But it's them speaking authentically. It's not sales ads. It's not teleprompter scripted stuff. It's just little clips from the interview, like taking a clip from a podcast. It's
Yeah.
authentic and it's real and it's builds trust because the person watching doesn't feel sold. But if we're coming at it with the intent of we're going to spend 2 hours and we're going to get a year's worth of content, then we're going to, let's say it's twice a week for a year. That's 100 videos we're going to shoot. So you might get 30 reels and we're going to shoot 70 different. I mean, it could be scripted stuff. It could be skits. It could be, we'll clip stuff from podcasts or whatever, but it's just, you just call it batch shooting. You shoot a whole batch of stuff in 2 hours rather than shooting every week or shooting once a month because that gets very expensive. If you're having our crew come or if you're having our agency come on site every month to shoot new content, it gets very expensive. If you can batch it all into 2 hours and get 100 pieces of content, it's just
Mm.
a lot more cost effective.
Exactly. Exactly true. Yep. And what mindset shift do people need to make to go from kind of content burnout to the content that keeps working while I sleep?
Ah, that is interesting. So I will say, first of all, it needs to be authentic. And I know that that's a word I keep saying, but if you go on LinkedIn or even Facebook and you see um, people are posting their virtual assistant is posting a photo and then some bullet points about how great their company is. That is it doesn't connect with people. So the biggest thing is just be authentic. Tell stories. Talk about clients that you've helped. Talk about why you do this. Talk about you mentioned imperfection. Just talk about something you're struggling with. Like
Yes.
that is one of my superpowers is being 100% vulnerable and transparent. Like I'll tell you how much money I made last year. I'll tell you when I had a bad year. I'll tell you if things are going well or not going well because I believe that if we're authentic, people really trust that and they can relate to that. Whereas if I'm always coming at it with Focus Films can do this and can do that, and we did this, and it's very self-serving and it doesn't help the person reading it. So the first thing is just be authentic and tell stories. Talk about how you help, but also it doesn't have to always be about business. Half of my LinkedIn content is about things I'm going through as a business owner or I'm going through as a dad, so it doesn't always have to be business related. And then secondly, as far as creating content, it gets tedious. It gets really tedious. The best thing I can say is what I do is I like the shooting, I batch my content. I'll spend like every Monday for the first couple of hours, I'll schedule all my posts after I've created all the content.
Yeah.
I'm not going on there every day and hitting post every day. Scheduling your content and then creating your content. Spend an hour or two a month or a week or whatever you want to do and make a whole bunch of content at once and have a library that you can choose from. And then also repurpose your content. I'll post something on LinkedIn that I posted on LinkedIn 6 months ago, but people don't remember that. So it's not like you have to constantly be creating new content. You can reuse it and repurpose it or take a video interview you did a year ago and throw it in Opus Clip and have Opus Clip pull out some clips. Like there's so many tools and ways that you can do it where you're not sitting there every day shooting content
Mm.
and every day posting content. Does that make sense?
Mm. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay.
I mean, you shoot it for once and then you just repurpose it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm. Amazing. So, and also like before we move, like, do you think the rise of AI generated content makes authentic storytelling even more um essential right now?
I do. In fact, I do a workshop on this talking about being authentic and storytelling. And that's specifically one thing that I talk about is that now with AI can create perfect graphics. It can create voiceovers. It can create
Yes.
videos, but it's never I mean, who knows what's gonna happen in the
But
future, but it's never going to create
mm,
that authentic human connection. I've made AI videos. I made some pretty cool AI videos that looks like a human on screen, but it doesn't have that authentic, real human feel, that authentic connection with the person. So I believe that the more people lean into being authentic and being real, they're the ones that are going to stand out even more than 10 years ago when I always talked about storytelling and being authentic.
mm,
Now it's going to make them stand out even more because 90% of the people are just putting up AI stuff. But then that one person that's a real person on the camera telling a real story and you connect with them,
mm.
they're going to stand out even more. So to answer your question, absolutely being authentic and real and human is like you're like the minority now, and that's a huge differentiator.
Very true. Very true. I mean, that's it's really very important these days. And as you mentioned, it's totally correct that whosoever will keep it kind of authentic storytelling, they will definitely gonna get that boost, obviously. So that is very, very important. So, dear listeners, what Graham just showed us is that the camera doesn't lie, it actually reflects. So, if you are struggling with that imposter syndrome, maybe it's not just a kind of sign that you are unqualified, but maybe it's a sign that you actually care. So video isn't just a kind of marketing tool, it's a mirror, as I mentioned earlier. So it shows the world who you are, and maybe more importantly, it reminds you of who you have become, right? So uh, if today's conversation hit home, then please check out Graham's focus films where you I mean, whether you are building your brand or maybe rethinking your content strategy or just trying to find something authentic, right? His work will definitely show you how to make the videos that work because they feed. So, Graham, if someone wants to connect with you, what will be the great medium?
The best way to connect with me would be either my website, focusfilms.com, or on LinkedIn, Graham Kuhn, GrahamKuhn. Connect me on there. I'm on there all the time.
Amazing. So, dear listeners, I'll put all the details into the show notes. And with this hope, this is your host, Avik, and this is Healthy Mind, Healthy Life, reminding you that the confidence is not about being ready, but it's all about the real part of it. So, thank you so much.